and most of them meet typical ASTM specs for cured in place. When you look at specifications themselves, there's several different specifications that they follow, whether it's F1216, 1743, 2561, 5813, D790, or 2990. Several different specifications out there that form and fill in for cured in place technology. These specifications really demand experience, request for references and checks, and allow multiple products to bid different products. So there's specs out there that fit anyone's needs for what rehabilitation methods they're actually looking for in the cured in place world. Some of the products out there use hydrophilic materials. Let me kind of hit on that a little bit. They use to seal the lateral connection at the main. It expands upon water contact. And most products today are using some type of hydrophilic sealant or gasket type material to where they're actually sealing at the main line and also sealing at the upper end of the lateral. These various configurations can come in paste form, gasket form, or O-rings, as most seen out there in the marketplace. These are measures to really kind of ensure a different water seal type fit. Obviously, we're working in aged sewers, so you need a kind of extra precaution and things that to make sure you get a good tight fit. These gasketed materials help in aiding that water tight connection. Sometimes air pressure testing is confirmed to seal the lateral in connections, and in fact, actually, the Metro Nashville project that was done, and actually is currently going on today, does a complete air test. So they do a low pressure air test on each individual lateral once rehabilitated. And various materials have been tested over the years with hydrophilic material, whether it's from a hydration and a dehydration perspective to kind of look at the effectiveness of it long term. So it is critical that that the products that are being used have been tested and they actually work again in a dehydration and hydration type mode. Talk about the brim style CIPP lateral. Again, I got a bunch of photos that are shown up here of different products that are out there. The industry terminology, people have heard of this, a top hat. The process is installed from the main line. No clean out is typically required because most top hat processes usually go short distances. There are some processes that go long, and clean outs may be needed with some of those processes. The installation is done after the main lines have been rehabilitated. So for best performance, what we find is that it's a rehabilitated main, whether it's PVC, polyethylene, cured in place technology or some sort. But it's best to have done after rehabilitation. There's a bladder that uses to inflate this process. It's put in place, and it's usually a resin-saturated product. Either, like again, cured with either ambient, water, steam, or UV cure process. Again, hydrophilic materials are used here to seal the connection at the main. To ensure a better watertight seal, different measures are taken. Whether silicate resins are used for help for adhesion perspective or hydrophilic materials are used to help, but all the intent is to basically have a much watertight seal connection. And generally installed in much shorter lengths. So again, top hats, or at least the brim style connection, are usually installed in the shorter lengths. Connection, first joint, up to the groundwater level, 3 to 5 feet outside the main line. The full wrap style lateral connection seal can be installed either prior, again, recommendation is before or after the rehabilitation. Installed from the main line. A clean out is not required, but some processes require a clean out or a pit or an access point. So there are different processes that require either one. Again, same bladder that's actually used for typical same bladder like used for a top hat is used here for positioning and inflation of the bladder in the main line and in the lateral. It also uses a saturated liner as well, kind of similar to the main line piece. Liner forms a complete circle, full circle around the inside diameter of the hose pipe. That piece of the main line is usually anywhere between 16 to 18 inches in length and goes 360 degrees around the hose pipe. Typical lengths that are lined from the main line are plus or minus 45 feet. There's lateral processes that basically can go as much as a couple hundred feet. Some can go 20 or 30 feet and need a clean out on the other end of them. So there's different lengths. So when you talk about the wide spectrum of different products that are out there, You know, it's kind of that range from the company that we install from. We do several thousand laterals a year, and I'd probably say the average is more closer to 20 to 25 feet more than 45 or 50 feet. But there are laterals that we do that are long as well. And again, hydrophilic materials are used here. In most cases, are used in the main line and at the upper end of the connection, again, to enhance and create a watertight seal. Talk about a little bit of lateral pipe bursting. Is another method of rehabilitation for laterals. Pipe bursting head is either pushed or pulled. Commonly, it's actually pulled in. As a power pack, it's actually used for pushing or pulling. Most of this requires actually to have two pits dug, one at the main line, one at the main line and one at the clean out our house, or whether the terminating point is for that repair. Most of the pulls that we've seen or done have actually started at the homeowner's side and pulled toward the main line. But it can be done either way, so it can be pulled either side, whether it's pulled from the main line back toward the house or from the home back toward the main line. And again, the majority are pulled in. But again, access points are needed at both ends. Once the pipe is actually rehabilitated and bursted, it's basically then tied in mechanically to the existing main line and then also back to the house connection. The solid thing about pipe bursting is that if you wanted to upside the pipe from a 4 to 6, you could do that with pipe bursting. So if there was a 4-inch lateral and you wanted to get to a 6-inch lateral on all your laterals, you could do that through pipe bursting. Mainline connection sealing. When you look at injection grouting, the connection is prepared by cutting and milling the connection away. So what typically happens is that they go and create a void to pump actually the resin into. There's a mainline packet that's positioned afterwards. I had to point out, kind of points in this stuff out. There you go. You can see it there. But again, once the milling and everything is done here, it actually creates this void around the pipe. And then this packer's pulled in, which again will be inject the resin. It's a resin injection system. The bladder is enlarged and isolated the second connection. So there's actually a bladder that actually shoots up the lateral, isolates the part of the voided area where the resin is going to be injected into. And it is an epoxy material that's injected under pressure. And it is cured basically as an ambient system. So once it's injected, it is cured as an ambient system. It's kind of a shot of it afterwards. And again, most of the manufacturers claim there's about 20 pounds of resin that is injected in that system. But again, it's creating the void. I've seen this done up in the DC area. I'm not sure how much widely it's spread, but I've seen it done in the DC area, resin injection system. And it can be done in line pipe or unlined pipe. So it doesn't have to be, it's there to basically redo the connection. It becomes a structural repair at that connection piece. Lateral grouting.